Okay. So good evening all. So welcome to the 16th Alumni GME talk. Today we have yet another a very recent graduate alumni from the Chemical Engineering Department of ISAC, Sastra. Sastra from the 2018 batch. We have Sindhu, who has taken a job in an automotive sector. So she works for Hyundai, and she would like to share how chemical engineering is very much relevant and significant in the automotive sector also. So this reminds me of an adage which in my alma mater my faculty used to tell me that if God has to be an engineer, he has to be a chemical engineer, because chemical engineering is all pervasive and is applicable to every field that one can think of. It's very nice to know that how one can bridge chemical engineering in automotive sector. And given the present crisis, I think will be also interesting to know from Sindhu that how the automotive sector, or the job in that profile itself is changed, and how they adapted and innovated in the present time. So thank you, Sindhu, for coming forward to share with us your experience, and you can continue. Yeah,
Thank
Sindhu,
you,
you
sir.
can continue now. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you, sir, for a brief intro. Hello, everyone. Hope everyone is doing good. Mm, so today I'll be talking on how chemical engineering I could relate it in the field that I work in. Basically, when I initially joined to Hyundai, people thought that I work in a non-core sector. When I went and told my family members that I got recruited in Hyundai, they were like, Hyundai and chemical engineering, how is it related? How I think then you are working in a non-core job. Even initially, I felt the same. I thought might be I might not use what I've learned in my bachelor's in the field where I actually work in. Um, or it's just the management skills that I have to use when I'm working in such a big industry. But it's basically not like that. If you see an automotive industry, there's basically four major blocks. The first is a press shop where the panel is actually made for the car outship. Um, and then it is the body shop where all the panels like floor, doors, roof, everything come together and it is welded. And then the next block is the paint shop where I basically work in. So paint shop is full and full of chemical engineering. People think it's basically mechanical engineers also work in paint shop, but it's actually not like that. Starting the first process in paint shop is nothing but electro deposition, and that was my first project. People thought that people initially gave me just office work, just compilation. I had to sit in office, do this. Other men or mechanical engineer go to line, they take the readings and they give me. But later, since we chemical engineering are like we have this hands-on experiments with all the simulation software, I was able to easily get attached to the software that we use for ED simulation. People are not able to basically people are not able to understand how the flow happens inside intricate objects inside body. But basically, fluid mechanics has taught us how flow happens inside the body. Fluid just is a path with minimum resistance. So we basically have all those ideas of how the flow can happen inside the body, and we can easily also define a mesh in the software which will help us to understand and simulate the flow inside the body. So this is how I got recognition in my industry first. People were not aware to use the software. I was able to learn software in few days, and I was able to predict how the flow could happen inside the body, whether e-coating electro deposition could happen at that place, whether this flow rate will help us in achieve the required spec of a deposition. So we were basically able to derive to some formula, some calculation, which will, even without the software, could help us to some extent identify and help whether this flow parameter or this process parameter is enough to achieve the required spec of electro deposition. And next moving and next moving into the process, the next is the painting of the body. Electrodeposition is basically for corrosion resistance, and the next is the painting, which gives appearance to the body apart from UV resistance. It's very simple, like how women paint their nails. First, we paint single coat of nail polish so that the second coat, which actually gives appearance and gloss to our nails, sticks to our nails. It's very similar in painting process also. We first apply primer so that the top coat, which actually gives appearance and gloss, sticks to the body. Apart from adherence property, primer also helps in UV resistance. So if you ask me how a chemical engineer uh, uh, will have influence in such a process, because it's basically people, what we do is just teach robot. We will just designate this flow parameter. This much flow is required to achieve this shape. This much turbine speed is required to achieve this shape or this color. So all were prefixed. We used to call vendors and suppliers from robot side so that they teach and go. Um, but once when I joined, uh, along with me, there were a few more chemical engineers working in same section as that of mine. So we were able to derive some formulas or some calculations, which is proportional directly or indirectly in some or the other way, which could help us to operate by sitting in office itself. By sitting in home itself, we will be able to move the robot in the plant. This is if so these are the applications in inside paint shop. So if you ask me whether chemical engineering is applicable only inside paint shop or is it applicable even outside paint shop, so basically as already in the role, chemical engineer is applicable everywhere, day to in every day to day life. uh, I have had chemical engineers in working in fields of mine, um, who have installed RTO in aluminum foundry. Aluminum foundry is a place where all the metals are melted so that you can use it for making engine components. So yeah, so RTO was designed by a chemical engineer, installed in the plant by a chemical engineer, one of my seniors, and we were able to reroute energy. We were able to reroute energy from aluminum foundry to paint shop to canteen. Apart from that, heat integration was also done by a chemical engineer. This gave people so much confidence that chemical engineering, no matter what, in every industry, is required. Um, uh, a chemical engineering can easily understand where energy is deficient, where energy is excess, and he will be able to reroute it, link it somewhere. Uh, do anyone have any questions as far as I've talked now? Good to go.
Hello. Yeah, you can continue. So you can also give, if you some examples without giving any proprietary details. So that will be also good because
Um,
people generally might not be able to relate outside. So what is good idea is you can give some
mm,
examples without disclosing any proprietary information or numbers. I mean, you
okay,
can
sir. Okay.
generalize those examples and then give.
Okay, sir. Now, moving into how COVID has pushed automotive industry. Even before COVID, there was a decline in the automotive industry. There were very much less sales in the domestic area. So where people are looking for the export of the models, and COVID has put so much impact on the automotive sectors that there is very less push of vehicles outside to the customers. Customers, uh, yeah, there is very less. What to say? People are not much preferring to buy vehicles as far as now. So in that case, what? Now here comes the picture of digitalization. COVID has taught us two major learnings. One is digitalization, and the next one is localization. Hyundai being a South Korean company, few materials we outsource from Korea. We either air transited or sea transited. But COVID has actually helped us to think about localization. Uh, same same materials could also be purchased in India, but maybe with a lower cost also. That is one idea COVID has given. And the next one is digitalization. During this COVID, for around 2 months, the company didn't work. People were not able to go to office. There was no production in the two areas. After that, we started this, this thing called IoT, where we will be able to operate uh, all the robots, all the jigs and fixtures from home itself. But of course, in the assembly shop where people are needed, where digitalization or automation is very minimum, people have to go to factory to actually get a final product. But apart from that, we're also looking into how Hyundai is trying to connect to customers is by VR and AR. We are now in the process of designing virtual test drive, which already Audi or many other companies have introduced. So this is under progress. So it will be good if you guys have knowledge on IoT, VR, augmented reality, all this, because this is where the current industry is moving towards. Current industry 4.0 is moving towards digitalization, where people will be able to operate or whatever is with the factory from home itself, with the laptop itself, with the phone itself. In the current case, if I have to produce a vehicle, we should go to office. We should take the pendant. We should be able to teach the robot for certain processes. But currently, we are looking into methods or technologies with which we can just sit in home and um, try to mobilize whatever is happening inside the factory. Mm,
Okay.
and yeah,
Hello.
yes, sir. Yes,
Yeah,
yes,
yeah,
sir.
continue, continue. Yeah, yeah, continue.
And the next one, since I'm a female, I work in a place where there are like 10,000 men. People, we can't expect respect from men around us, because if I'm going to line, there'll be a lot of men. uh, we'll be able to connect to them only if we are able to talk in their local language. Since I can manage a little bit of Tamil, if I talk in Tamil, they'll understand, and they'll try to help us. One learning that I've learned from Honda is that be bold, talk to people, whatever it is, face it, own your responsibility. Never try to put blame on anyone, someone else. So this is the first learning that I've learned from, rather I'll say, from a workplace. This is the first learning that I've learned from the workplace. And the next one is, um, even if people put you down, never mind. Yes, even if people put you down, never mind. You should believe on your on your own capabilities. You should know that, yeah, even if I'm failing now, at some or the other point, I'll be able to uh, come up, and I'll be able to prove myself. I have this question from Naren. So, can you share about Hyundai interview processes? It was basically a 8 stage steps. Initially, we had an exam. People who cleared written exam had a general GD round, um, general discussion. After clearing general discussion, we had presentation round. I'll talk about my technical interview and HR interview, which happened around 1 hour each section. Um, my HR interview was like, whoever came for recruiting me, he just came and asked me, talk about yourself, and that's all. He just gave me 1 hour where I had to talk just about myself. After 5 to 10 minutes, I really didn't know what to talk itself. I told everything about myself. I almost told everything about myself, and after 5 to 10 minutes, I really didn't know what to talk. He, he gave me the first learning that never go blank. Even if you don't have nothing to tell, talk something. Try to engage people. That what is very important in any sector. You should be able to manage people. You should be able to keep them like go along with you. So remaining 40 to 50 minutes, I don't even remember what I spoke, but I did something. I thought that I might not cross my HR interview because I thought I gave a very bad shot of it. But with God's grace, I somehow cleared it. And the next was my technical HR. There were two to three people. There were two to three people who were. Who were there for technical HR. So basically, it started with my internships and projects. So I would like to tell you guys. Internships and projects have a real impact on the recruiting process. You should try to choose subjects such that it is somewhere related to the current industry. I did my third year project in IIT Madras, and the topic was microfluidics. The recruiter were so much interested in that topic because they such process was involved in Hyundai also. They were also developing some fuel technology, so they were very keen in knowing about my project. So I think my technical interview just clicked, and that is one of the main reason my. I would like to thank Narendra. He is the person who gave me this opportunity to do internship in IIT Madras, and I think because of him only I'm in now Mumbai. And I have this question. There's this question from Srivatsa Varadarajan. Was the placement on campus or off campus? It was on campus. Hyundai used to come to Sastra a few years back, and they used to take mechanical engineers. Very few chemical engineers used to get placed. Um, and then the last interview after technical interview, I had this press interview where I'll be surrounded with the 10 to 15 people. They'll shoot all sort of questions towards me. They'll put you in the stress, and they'll try to analyze how do you react to stress. Do you cry? Do you burst out? Do you show anger and everything? So from all the directions, questions will be shooted to you. They'll be like, what if you? They'll talk all negative. They'll be like, what if you don't get the job? What if we don't recruit? What if we don't recruit to you? What if we take you and then all in the midst we say that we don't need a chemical engineer? So we should stay calm. We should stay positive, and we should try to reply to them. We should always, if they ask you what if I don't recruit you, you should always tell them in a polite way. You should say them your company is in loss. Anyway, I can get a better job than this. So yeah. So the last round, the stress round, was the most difficult round for me. We had this question from Akash. Which specific concept of chemical engineering you are using in Java? Yeah, correct. Okay. So basically, in all fields, there will be fluid mechanics. Fluid mechanics is such a subject. No matter what, wherever you go, you have to apply it. You'll find its applications. Um, Maybe let it be a flow inside a body. Let it be a nozzle uh, flow through nozzles. Okay, let me think of an example that I currently use. Yeah, the first process in paint shop is cleaning the body. Uh, the body that comes from the body shop, the outline skeleton of the body, they'll be coating it with oil so that it doesn't get rusted or corroded when it moves from body shop to the paint shop. So the first process or in any automotive sector in the paint shop will be cleaning the body. Uh, it's basically not just the chemistry where you use in cleaning of a process. It starts with a scrub. It's all the unit operations that you have learned in your chemical engineering. It is involved. Let it be reverse osmosis or ultrafiltration or let it be what else, scrubbing, uh, f- fluidized bed reactor. All these unit operations are basically involved in an automotive sector.
Okay. So, yeah,
Yes,
Sindhu,
yes, sir.
I'm interested. Where is this fluidized one used in automobile?
That I have currently proposing for scrubbing processor.
Oh, okay, okay, okay. Yeah, okay.
And also in this one, aluminum foundry, they have currently proposed for fluoride-based reactors.
Okay, okay, okay. So that's good. This is good information for me. Yeah,
Yes, sir.
yeah. Proceed.
Uh, do people have any questions? All are silent. You
Yeah,
can
because
shoot the
questions.
question.
So there are questions in the chat box.
Yeah, this yes,
So
sir.
you
There's
can
this
just
question
read
from.
the question and also the name, and then you can answer.
Okay. There's this question from
You can read.
Akash. During interview, you said they asked you. Yes, sir. There is this
Yeah, you
question
can
from
read the
Akash.
question
He's
and then
asking
answer.
during
Yeah.
interview, you said yes. They asked you to talk about you. Could you shed some light and guidance? Do we need to start with technical or education background? Okay. In HR interview, it's just basically about yourself. Um, it is definitely good if you try to tell them about technical and education background of yours. It's just basically selling yourself, how well you sell yourself, how you impress them so that they recruit, how you make them understand that you very well deserve for this job. Let it be your technical background or education background. If you're trying to tell them, it will definitely impress them. So what did I tell about I throughout my HR interview, I'll tell you how did I pass 40 to 15 minutes. I was just talking about what are projects, what are interns I did. So that is how I try to keep them engaging and try to give them surety that I am a best eligible candidate for this job. And moving to the next question, we have this question from RC. Does Hyundai have graduate engineer training program? If yes, can we apply? Yes, Hyundai does take internships and they do have graduate engineering training program. Um, they do publish it on their official website. I think because of this pandemic lockdown, for few months they might not take interns or trainees. Maybe I think maybe again from the next year they'll start taking people for internships or trainees.
Okay.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh yeah. Uh, Now there's this question from Vignesh. He's asking, could you elaborate on your project done at IITM? Yes, sure, Vignesh. My project was on microfluidics, designing to just understand how the flow happens inside a microfluidic channel. Uh, yeah, it was basically that. Let me try to recollect it first. Yeah, there were two types of fluid. We used oil-based fluid, and the next one is the water-based. We are trying to understand how the mixture of both will flow inside a micro channel. Because of course, uh, on a macro scale, and on the micro scale, the reactions or the flow dynamics will be different. Will be different. This is the basic. My project was just to understand how flow happens inside micro channel, how and what are its applications on the industry. Like let it be a fuel economy or let it be drug delivery, similar kind of thing. And we have this question from Dhalini. Akka, we heard from your batch that Hyundai conducted 12 rounds. Is that so? How was it? What and all we should prepare to tackle this round? So basically, I'll tell you, a company doesn't most of the time doesn't look for how sound you are in a subject. Maybe yeah, maybe in the technical maybe in the technical round, people will look for how people will look on your sound language, on the technical stuff. But apart from that, all the remaining rounds, I think we had apart from technical interview, I had some 7 rounds. It's just basically how you talk, how you present yourself, how will you react in a stressful situation. Uh, Basically, since they recruit you for executive cadet, it's how your job is just to manage people, which is very important. So if once maybe your technical or sound knowledge is very important for you to come up soon in a industry. But in order to survive in an industry, it doesn't matter whether you have a sound knowledge uh, on on the technical stuff, or you don't have much. You should know how to manage people, because how to manage people. And yeah, you should be flexible. That's what is a basic category which recruiters look for. Being flexible, you should be able to work in different patterns. You should not complain. You should try to adapt quickly as possible. Yes, Anush is, it was 7 rounds, I guess. Is Darini? I got it. Okay, the next
Yeah,
question is from Akash.
yeah.
Is there any specific software you would suggest as a prerequisite for your job? Basically, you should know SolidWorks. SolidWorks, then CATIA. Considering chemical engineering background, you should know CFD. CFD is definitely useful. Aspen is useful because uh, this you might not as such use in industry, but this actually gives you an idea how to work on a simulation software. Or if you know Aspen or CFD, it'll creating mesh and all will be easier while using other softwares also. Next question from Aarti. Will Hyundai conduct weekly or monthly assessments so its employees like IT companies do? Yeah, we have quarterly assessments. So basically, it's on 4 categories. Basically, it's broadly on 2 categories. One is um, they give you assigned job. They'll assign you a job, how you work, how you show your efficiency in that particular field that they assign you. Do you do your job perfectly? It's not rather how do you do outstanding. For example, if there is this category for assessment, like you have to keep your place clean. Keeping your place clean doesn't fetch you a grade of yes. You'll get yes only if you keep your place clean, and also you help others to keep their place clean. You promote this thing of cleanliness. So this is what will give you is um, so basically that on 2 categories people will be judged. First one is innovative ideas you give, and the next one is how do you do your assigned job. So even if you don't perform good, of course they can't take you out of the job. Your promotions will be slow, that's all. And also Hyundai gives you the one main reason I joined Hyundai is that we have this program where after 3 years of being in Hyundai, actually have this link up with few well-reputed colleges like IITM, VIT, and all. After 3 years, you'll be able to do your PG. Once you clear the exam conducted by Hyundai, you'll be able to do your PG in well-reputed colleges. So that is one main reason why I joined Hyundai. I thought maybe after 3 years of experience I gain, I'll be able to understand the concept maybe more clearly. I'll be able to see it from an industrial point of view, and I could still work in a company at the same time do my PG also. That is one benefit that Hyundai provides you also.
Hey Sindhu, Shravani here. I have a question.
Yes, yeah, sure. Yes, yes.
Can you tell us about your nature of job and you work in shift, right?
Can you come again, Shravani? I couldn't hear you.
Yeah,
Can you tell me? Yeah. Can you just tell
yes,
us
sure.
about your job,
Yes, sure.
nature of your job?
Can I tell about my job? Uh,
Yes, nature of your job. Yeah.
Nature of your job. Okay, basically. Um,
Yeah. And also you work in shift, right? Shift.
uh, yes, yes. Okay, I'll let
Okay.
you know
Then
about.
do you face any issues like do you have to do night shift or something? I just want to know about your shift. And what are the difficulties you face in a
Mm,
plant? That's all.
okay, sure. So I actually work in ME section, manufacturing engineering section. It is different from production section. Uh, my job scope is whenever a new model is coming in into the plant, we have to stabilize the model in the plant and then hand over the model to the production side. So maybe uh, ME people, we do come in shifts, like just like production people. Um, since I'm a female, they never let me come in shifts. But men who work in ME section do come in shift. But I have also stayed in office up to some 10 or 11 o'clock because I was involved in ED this few I mean a few projects which I had to stay up to 3 o'clock, up to 10 o'clock at the night. I did stay up to 10 o'clock. They generally don't let women employees stay so late at night because in production sites there are hardly very few women. If you go to the HR, if you go to total women strength in our company is around 80, among which almost 70 people are in the HR side and only very few people work in production side. So they very much take care of women employees. They generally don't let to stay up to late nights, or they generally don't leave shifts. And if you just totally up on you, if you want to come in the night shifts or you want to stay late up to night, they'll ensure that you reach home safely. They'll arrange all the vehicle facility. They'll also send people along with you to ensure that you reach home safely. You receive call 5 to 6 calls from every people around just to ensure that you have reached home safely. And also, we work in a male-dominated plant, so we ensure that we are not very much affected, like uh, uh, in working, both the mentally or physically. They ensure a very good safety of women employee. I hope I answered your question,
Yeah,
Shravani.
Sindhu. And is it like manufacturing
Or anyone.
pilot plant or something?
Yeah, yeah, correct. So basically, whenever a new model is introduced in in Hyundai India, we will receive a prototype design from the Korea plant. We receive a body. My job will be like I have to check whether that production of that body is possible in our line condition, in the Indian line condition. So basically, it involves both designing as well as manufacturing, as well, and also facility checking. We have to just suggest that this design we will not be able to run in HMI plant. It might go well in China or America, but we might cannot use in Hyundai plant because this size of the plant is less or size of the bath is less. So that is the area where I basically work.
Yeah, okay. Do you face any health issues or something because of working in a plant that is pains and all? Do
Yeah,
you take any
yes.
precautions for this?
Oh, okay, okay. Uh, for it's a very huge plant. The from my office to the line, from my office to the plant, I have to walk around some 500 to 600 meters every day to and fro. We used to have this connecting buses every 20 minutes, but after this COVID, all those buses are cut off. So basically, there's no. I think it makes me more fit. Initially, I used to be lazy. I'll wait for shuttle bus. It, if I'm missing a bus, I'll wait for another 20 minutes so that I get another bus, but the next bus. But now I think it's making me more fit, help me coming out of that laziness. And working in paint shop, uh, everyone will be bothered whether I am exposed to paint, how it is affect, how hazardous it will be to me. Will it cause any health issues to the people working in paint shop, or like, or for that matter, any shop in an automotive industry? No, it's actually not. They ensure all sort of safety. Moreover, we are not actually handling paints. It's just robots. We have to teach robots to spray the paint. We will, and people who are going inside the booth where painting process is actually happening, they'll be given all ventilators, all sort of equipment, so that they're actually not in direct contact with the paint. So it's quite safe to work inside the plant.
Yeah, thank you, Sindhu. Because mostly people will think girls working in plant maybe they will lose their hair and lot of things goes around. So I just want to
Uh,
clarify about this. Yeah.
Yes, yes. This problem I also had in the beginning. I started losing all my hair. Then all my friends and relatives started saying that since I work in paint shop, I have this problem. But rather it was because that I didn't have a healthy food diet, and I didn't drink proper water. Once I regularized on my diet and water, I came to normal. So it's basically not like that. So you don't worry about it.
Yeah, that's good.
And yes, being a woman surviving in such a yeah, and being a woman surviving in such an industry is very difficult because you are a woman. People might not give you respect. People think she's just a new woman. People think women don't deserve job equally as men. So it's totally on our hand to prove that we are just equal like men. And moreover, technicians or people who actually work in line, they don't listen to us. Every time we have to go begging around them, Anna panne pannunga, Anna idu pannunga, Anna idu pannunga. But rather going like Anna, please do this. You should be commanding. That is another learning from my job. Only if you command, you can get work things done. Otherwise, people will easily fool around you and put you in trouble.
How you handle these pressure or stress, Sindhu? What are your
Um,
stress busters you can ask?
Stress busters.
Yes.
Uh, Basically, in the corporate cultures, they very often take us to parties. So this parties are the thing
But
which
I
actually
don't
help
think
us
you like parties.
relieve our.
I don't really think you
Sorry,
like parties.
I was that sort. I think I kind of changed from the person I was in college. I was like very scared. I was not as bold as I am now. I used to be scared to talk to people, to confront any sort of situations. But after coming here, I think my work life has my it has changed a bit. I started enjoying parties because I think that is the way I can release all the stress that I've got. You need not think about the deadlines that you are given with. So I think parties, and I think it's good, let it be in college or in work, partying is actually good. I was totally different when I was in college, I think.
Yeah.
This
Okay.
thing I should tell you guys. When I was in college, I always. Yes, yes, sir.
No, no. Yeah. Continue. Continue.
You were about to say something.
No, no. You can continue.
When I was in college, I never. Okay, sir. Okay. When I was in college, never used to like going for partying. I used to think partying is sin. I never go out with friends. Every Sunday, I think they used to take all the girls outside. I never used to go. I think that and all is wrong. I I'll be either in my hostel or in library. Or during all the time, I never used to attend any college. During whatever be the like be Kuri Sastra or whatever I used to come to my home. I think that is a time you should enjoy. Once you come to office, you will literally not get time to enjoy life. Basically, if you have to enjoy at the same time come up. You shouldn't sacrifice both. You shouldn't sacrifice education for just jolly and also vice versa. That one learning I think I understood only after coming to work.
So that's nice. So any other questions? Any other questions? Okay.
I think she have to
So
answer that Akash question.
okay, there is one
Akash,
Which
question.
one? Which
Yeah,
one?
Akash.
she have to answer.
In the chat box, just see a
Oh
question.
yeah, there's this question from Akash. You said there'll be outsourcing in your workshop, so you're using any supply chain analytics or need to have some management skill. Yes. Yes, definitely. Management skill is what helps you survive in any company, for that matter. Yes, we do use supply chain analytics, but basically that is done. We have to just tell the section that I basically work in. We have to just tell these are the suppliers, and supply chain management will be carried by a separate department called as vendor development. They'll take care of it.
Okay.
Did I answer your question, Akash, or you meant something else? Okay. Okay. Okay.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. So any other questions from anyone?
I have a question.
Shravani.
Sindhu,
Yeah.
sorry, sir.
Yeah. Shravani, go ahead.
ரொம்ப பேசுறேன். Okay. Sindhu, you told us about after 3 years you can do your masters and all. So it is long distance and you will be working and side by side you will be
Yes.
studying.
You need not
Okay.
come to office that time. Office will it's a two-way bonanza. ஒரே கல்ல ரெண்டு மாங்கா. It's like they'll pay you your salary and also they'll also take care of your education expenses also. You can do either in India or also you can do in abroad. So your education expenses they'll take care and also they'll pay you that month's salary. So it's like saving plus also
How you will be working? You'll be working like I did not get it.
you
That one.
you need not come.
You will
Sorry.
be going to the classes normally. You can go like that.
Yes, yes.
Okay.
Yes, it's very normal. As like how we are doing our PG. From
Okay.
it's like you're not working, you're just doing a PG, but you'll be paid monthly. That's all.
I,
But of course, it comes with bond also
what's the
later. That's okay.
So that that studying
Hello.
time, what's the contribution will be there for the company from your side? Because they are paying, right?
There's basically
Oh,
yes. The company doesn't want you to go outside, doesn't want the experienced people to go outside because they'll be knowing what kind of situation and how you'll be able to work in that company. So they try to feed you with more knowledge so that they can, at the end, they can get the same from you.
oh, that's great. So after 2 years, you will gain even more good knowledge, and you'll just come back and work again with the next level
Yes, yes,
designation or
correct.
something. That's good. Stacking of knowledge, I think.
Yes, yes, correct.
Good. First time I'm listening. Thank you.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So any other questions? Okay. So so if there are Any other questions? Anybody wants to know? Okay, so if there are no other questions, I think Shravani itself, you can summarize first. You have asked more questions to your classmate, so you can summarize how your classmate has answered now. Yeah, Shravani.
Yeah. Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
Sindhu, thank you so much. I could see, lot of changes. That's good, actually. But, she is very sweeter in our class, and she used to give us notes even before the exam. Not before one day. Not before, no, not before 2 days. But before that, she'll give the notes. We can take xerox and give it as that. And her handwriting is so good. I used to study ICT notes. Yes, everything. Even Rabukata's speech answer and all. I used to take her notes. Particular next, but notes is much. That's Sindhu Kavi's notes. Notes. Yeah, thanks for that. And yeah, we used to ask doubts and she used to clarify.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you so much, and you briefed us
And
about
I must
notes
mention
about.
that she is one of the countable few people who took Raghutata sir's notes. I mean, in class, what he dictates, she is one of the few who had written everything in detail.
Yes. Yeah. Thank you. Anybody from the current students? Yeah, thank you, Shravani. So anybody from the current students want to give? Yeah, Dharani. Yes, go ahead.
Sir, am I audible?
Yes, you are
Akka, it's so
audible.
happy to hear today's talk from you. Thank you so much for answering all the questions with patience. I remember very well that our AD Kumaresan sir was so happily informing us that mechanical company has entered into chemical department after your Hyundai results. I always had a question, what will be the work of chemical engineering in mechanical companies? I got some information from today's talk. Thanks a lot for coming forward and spending us your valuable time for us. Thank you so much, Akka.
Thank you.
Okay. Okay, yeah, PG, yeah. PG, you can speak.
Sir, Akka, thanks for a wonderful talk, Akka. So, your talk actually, it gave some insights on the soft skills also. Apart from the technical skills, we all understood how important the soft skills and the management part is. Something, which many of us usually tend to neglect in our curriculum. So, thanks for highlighting the importance of it, Akka.
Yes. Yeah.
And one more thing I'd like to mention.
Yes, carry. Yeah.
Shall I, sir? When I was in college, my communication skills are kind of really bad. My English was not very good, and even still, my English is not good. Whatever English knowledge I had, I started forgetting it once I joined the company because I had to talk to Koreans mostly. So I'll be like, tomorrow coming office. Today no work. This the language that I use in office now. So I'd like to say if you guys don't have good language skills, don't worry, it's okay. You should learn how to manage among people. That's what is important. Be bold, and manage. That's all.
Yes. So yeah. Right.
Yes, sir. You
So
can.
that's nice. That in fact there is nothing to be worried of not knowing something, as long as uh, we have the urge to learn it. Not knowing something is never an issue. So that's very nice. So if there are no other questions, I think you can mute. I think others can mute because it's creating echo for me. Yeah, so all can mute. Sindhu, you can mute, I think. Yeah. So if there are no other questions, so let me summarize this talk. It's very nice, Sindhu, to bring a different perspective of chemical engineering. so that it gives an idea to the present students that it's not just in process industries, but chemical engineering is applicable to everywhere else also. So that's a very nice thing to know. Thank you for coming forward and sharing your experience, and thanks to all for taking part in this live session. So I'll just stop the recording. So Sindhu, thank you.
Thank you all.
Thank you.